Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching MGS Coaching Football. I really appreciate it. Coach Sullivan here, defensive coordinator, and I hope that your 2021 season was as successful as ours was. In this presentation in our 3-4 defense, I want to go over one of our match quarter variations that we call Grade 2, and I want to show you how we defend a pass concept that we call Oklahoma Switch. So when we tag switch to any concept, number one and two literally switch routes. Okay, so if not subscribers, push the button, but subscribers, this is Oklahoma, but now number two is doing the out. Number one, excuse me, is doing the out. Number two is doing the vertical. Okay, so instead of a vertical out concept, it's an out vertical concept. So that's all the switch tags means to us is one and two switch who's doing which route in the concept. Okay. So over here, I'll go through the key terms to help you better understand grade two, the rules to defend route concepts. And then over here in the diagram, I'll go over Oklahoma switch and how we're able to defend it with a bracket on the vertical of number two. Okay. So the first key term over here is surface. And what that means to us is the offensive line. So tackle to tackle. And when there's a tight end, the tight end becomes part of the surface. That tells us run, pass, and direction, real important. So for the purposes of this presentation, the surface, the offensive linemen are hi-hatting, the set, whether it's angle, hard, soft, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to right now illustrate the surface as pass setting. So everybody involved in pass coverage is reading the offensive line all the time. Okay? And so the tight end is part of the surface, but releasing into the route concept, excuse me, is a tell, okay, to the surface itself. It will coincide with the offensive lineman pass setting. So number two, the two defenders who are a part of the read of number two in grade two are outside and inside linebackers on both sides. Okay, so our four linebackers are reading and reacting to what number two does. We tell them, read number two tells you what to do, just like we do in grade four and grade three. Non-subscribers, push that button. So number two is going to do the vertical, right, because they're switching the routes. And number one's going to do the out, hence out vertical concept. We always start with number one first, right? The out vertical, okay? So number three, the technique for the outside linebackers is they will wall number two on the vertical. They are the inside part of the bracket. So wall means, as you'll see, they're in between the receiver and the quarterback. They build a wall. Okay, that's the term we use. The inside linebackers, since when they check, number two's not to them, number one's not to them, they go back to their base match quarter rules. Running back two, spy the Q. Running back two, spy the Q. And we'll teach you what we call the mirror technique when they're in fact spying the quarterback. So I'll save them for last in the diagram. So number five, the cornerbacks. I have a cornerback in press and a cornerback in the regular off 7-yard position, just to give you the two different techniques. But no matter what, they're going to bump and carry the out of, excuse me, number one. And carry means they keep outside leverage to it. They keep the out in front of them as best they can. Not as easy when they're playing off, but possible. Okay? So I'll show that to you as well. And then number six, the safeties, they're going to tempo number two vertical, right? Because they go surface, it's pass, they mirror the release of two. They're checking number one to see what one's doing. So they tempos two vertical, and then they're the outside bracket of number two, the outside linebacker, right? By design, grade two, the corners and safeties bracket number one, unless. So in the case where number one's not vertical, there's no bracket of number one with the corner and the safeties. In this case, two's vertical because they switched, right? So the safety will now bracket with the outside linebacker. It's all built into the coverage. So now over to the diagram. I'm going to diagram Oklahoma switch in red, okay? So he's got to get off the press, execute the out. He's going to execute the vertical, execute the out, execute the vertical. And as we know, receivers will not just run in a straight line, right? We get that. This is just for teaching purposes in the presentation, okay? So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start over here with the press corner. So when we're in press, and it's normally both corners, remember I'm doing it to show you the two different techniques. If I'm on the left, I'm going to jam with my left arm. If I'm on the right, I'm going to jam with my right arm, okay? So there's an immediate bump, and then I'm going to carry, which means keep outside leverage, keep the receiver in front of you while seeing the quarterback, okay? So now as I get this, as he executes the out, I want to make sure I'm on top of the out. Don't stay underneath it. Okay, in case it's a quick out and up. The safety would be wicked late there. There wouldn't be much help. So we prefer that the corner stay on top of the out. Let the out break underneath you. Okay, because now I'll just come right over here with a different technique. When they're playing off, we say take the charge, which means they keep their feet hot, zit stepping, but there's no pedals. So now they're literally going to be in a position to plant and drive on that out. So you end up in the same place irregardless, right? Which is what we want. So that takes care of the out of number one. So now, right, again, surface to two. As they're looking, the outside linebacker checks to make sure one's not coming in. When he sees one isn't, he's now going to get into that wall. See? It's physically inside, in between the quarterback and the receiver. The safety, surface, two, check one, not there. Okay? He is going to work to the outside of number two, so we have the inside, outside bracket. High, low, bracket of number two. He starts at 12 yards. He's got plenty of time to cross the vertical tracks of number two. Plenty of time. Over here, the difference in technique between the outside linebackers, detached in space, attached. Anytime our outside linebackers are attached, they're always knocking back, getting a lot of hands, getting a fistful of tight end, we say. Right? Fistful. And he's the only one who's not necessarily per se reading the surface, but he's hearing it and he's reacting to the tight end's down blocks and base blocks. So he knows. But when the tight end is whoop, getting away from him because he's the vertical portion of the concept, right? That's a tell as well as the pass call. So now he will get a fistful of hands as he's turning his hips. Eyes to one, he sees one is running away from him. He will get into his wall on number two. Same thing, surface, two's vertical. You see one's not there. You're already outside of number one, 2x12, but nonetheless, make sure that you widen so you are outside bracket, inside bracket, high bracket, low bracket. So that's how we're able to bracket number two. Now the linebackers, surface, pivot, two's not to you, one's not to you, pivot back, running back first. If the running back is to you, if he's in protection, it's key rush, right? Subscribers, not subscribers, push the button. If he's in or out, you go get him. You got the running back. Okay, that's your key. When he's in protection, the key's telling you to rush. Add to the rush. Fourth man. Running backs away. The spy technique we call is mirror, which means get in the vision of the quarterback. So when the quarterback's looking downfield in the mirror, he sees you. Right? That just the mirror technique is a reminder to the linebacker, keep the quarterback in front of you. You're spying the quarterback. Yes, the technique to do that is what we call mirror. So if the quarterback scrambles side to side, you scramble side to side with him. And if he tucks it and runs, that's why you're there. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, thank you for watching MJS Coaching Football. I really appreciate it. To subscribers and non-subscribers alike, please, questions, reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.